The waves still rolling in for the Manhattan Beach Open in this 2024 season, a season like none before it. As we gear up for the league, this is the Heritage Series event, and it is all about Contenders action to close out this second day of coverage. We have a good one as Ta.Crabb and Taylor Sander, your 2023 Manhattan Beach Open champs, are back in action, and in the Contenders bracket of all things, they'll face off against Billy Allen and Paul Lotman for this one. But I have to say, this booth just got a whole lot tighter, because I'm Cameron Irwin and we've got Rich Lamborn in the house, but we're adding one more in the middle, and I feel like we're not really split into thirds here, Casey Patterson.
No, we're both sharing 1/3, and Rich has the other 2/3. I thought I had more muscle mass, but I don't.
If you combine the two of us, we might be able to pair with this guy.
We're still 2/3 of Rich.
Well, it's great to have you, Casey, and it's great to have you on the AVP, now serving as a coach. What has it been like being back at the Manhattan Beach Open?
You know, this is my first event being back in 2 years since I retired in Phoenix.
Yeah.
And so it felt like kind of weird walking into the sand. I got all the nerves. I was like, oh, did I shave those back hairs that were showing? You know, I felt like all the player things went through my head. Do I have nose hairs hanging out? Like, I got to make sure I look good. And then I remembered it doesn't matter anymore. Doesn't matter. I just get a coach. So that was actually awesome. So a few steps in, it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about if my knees feel good.
That was part of the player prep, is that the back hair had to be? Okay.
Now he just wears a shirt.
You know, like the random shoulder hair that hangs off? You're like, God, you didn't just chop the one shoulder? Get rid of that.
Yeah.
That was part of the prep.
I did not expect to start this broadcast talking about your back hair, but here we are. So let's get down to the players and Mark Sherman for some, I don't know, player introductions. Why not?
And we are all set. Let's do this. It is time to send one team home and send one team to the semifinals. All right, I like these two teams. It's we got some hard hitters out here. Each team has one player who is like a hard hitter, like in your face, you know what's coming. They also each have more of a subtle player who will break it out. We're going to talk to the subtle player. It's all about subtlety with this guy out of Fallbrook, California, ladies and gentlemen. Now the coach at Stanford. You never know what he's thinking. He's probably thinking of a joke to tell, thinking of something fun, and then all of a sudden he just unleashes on you, ladies and gentlemen. Let me hear it for Billy Allen. And his partner, this is the, he's going to hit the ball hard. He was an outside hitter, an Olympian on the indoor side, everybody. An absolute rocket of a serve. Swings high and hard and so much fun to watch. Let me hear it for Paul Lotman. And their opponents, they are the reigning champions of Manhattan Beach, looking to get back to Sunday to get to the semifinals. 3 matches away from going back-to-back. This first guy out of Honolulu, Hawaii, he just looks calm and controlled. I mean, he grew up on the beach, ladies and gentlemen, and then all of a sudden, it's the finesse, and then he'll just unload, and it's just unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, let me hear it for the one, the only Ta.Crabb. And then like Paul on the other side, this guy also an Olympian on the indoor side, an outside hitter, one of the best back row hitters to ever play the game, an absolute cannon of an arm at the net, at the service line. Let me hear it out of Corona, California for Taylor Sander.
Well, fellas, all I know is I'm starting to feel a little left out. A bunch of Olympians up in this booth, including a gold medalist, and of course, Casey Patterson, the 2016 Olympian, and a lot of Olympians down on the court right now between Taylor Sander. Yeah, and I'm throwing in Ta.Crabb in that mix. He deserved every right as he got to go to Tokyo, didn't get the chance to participate, but nonetheless is considered an Olympian in my book. And of course, Paul Lotman, an indoor Olympian in his own. Let's get started. A spot in the semifinals up for grabs in this Contenders bracket matchup. A look at the bug and the finesse. I mean, you've played against this guy forever. How nasty is it to play him?
I'm not even surprised. At this point, before you're like, oh, who's this young kid? He's so annoying. Now you're like, that's just standard. He just has a magic fairy dust in his pocket, and he has it. It's like an unlimited amount. It's unreal.
The triple juke to start it out.
Yeah.
They're working on Paul Lotman to begin. And just off the edge. I mean, Taylor Sander, too, a great blocker in his own right. Obviously getting a little chiseled there. But this could be a blocking showdown between those two guys.
Yeah, two physical blockers. I remember watching Taylor play in club volleyball in Anaheim, just 15-year-old, bouncing ceiling at ASC. I'm like, who is this? Kid's insane. Now he's just incredible Olympian and now Manhattan Beach winner. It's incredible.
I got a number for you. How about this? Sander is 4-0 all time against Lotman.
Oh.
3 of those went to a third set. One other was 22-20 and 21-19. Crabb is 14-5 all time against Billy Allen. Seems like it's rather stacked in the favor of Sander and Crabb.
Yeah.
Extended on the first contact there. There's the scoop from Crabb. Allen, options no good.
I just have to apologize. I gasped twice. And I said I don't get surprised anymore, and I still am getting surprised.
That's right. That's right.
Real.
Yeah, Ta.Crabb's, I mean, we saw it a little earlier from Tim Brewster, maybe the dig of the tournament. The wide open net for great defenders, I feel like oftentimes is almost better.
Yeah.
In a way, right? Because you get that clear, unimpeded view.
What was that word you used? Annoying?
Yeah, annoying. Yeah. Well, that's why you call them bug. You have to get the bug spray out, and you got to swat them away.
3-2 to start this one off. Again, Casey Patterson joining me along with Rich Lamborn, Cameron Irwin. That's Paul Lotman.
Oh,
no
sorry.
way! It's all good. You should gasp.
I keep gasping. What's my problem?
Sure.
This is like broadcasting 101.
Yeah.
No, but in all reality, anytime you have something, just throw it out there, Casey.
I'll tell you something right now. We're playing in Kauai in the dinosaur event.
Yes.
And Ta.Crabb, the only thing Jake and I were talking about, because Jake, Phil, and I were all there. Taylor's there playing. And the only thing we can compare it to is Phil in his prime, where he was so unbelievably dominant that you couldn't even, like, create more of a perfect superhero for the game. That was Ta.Crabb, big court, playing with Matza, basically doing it by himself. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I heard Matza Taylor told him to stand in one specific location on the court, don't move, and just get the second contact.
It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that. It was incredible.
Yeah, what's great about Taylor, I mean, there's a lot of great things about Taylor. That's obviously one of the many. But Mike Dodd in their peer ceremony the other day was talking about how all the kind of legends of the game really claim him as one of their own because of his love for the game.
Yes.
Like, not only he's got the skill set, but he's doing that with Matza. He's pulling off the net and scooping on the AVP, and then he's at 21st Street. Four-man all day long. I mean, it's insane, and that's why all these fans love him. That's why legends of the game love him. That's why his competitors respect him so much. It's really unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's so true.
Ta.Crabb, of course, is who they're discussing out of Long Beach State, the 3-time All-American and National Player of the Year. As there is an epic serve from Taylor Sander.
Watching him do that indoor, I was like, oh, I mean, it'll transfer over to the beach eventually. But that was like his identity from the start. He's bombing serves, and you're like, okay, we have to weather this storm.
It's so interesting how, like, there's a lot of guys that can jump, and there's a lot of guys with great arms, but he's at another level in both of those categories, right? It just, you take a great jumper, and then there's Taylor Sander kind of in a category of his own.
Agreed.
Well, they're actually in a very similar category in regards to also being a 3-time All-American out of BYU and also an AVCA Player of the Year.
Out of BYU, interesting.
Interesting.
I know a few guys that also went there. The irony.
That's going to be mine and Casey's contribution to the broadcast today. We just go, Cougars.
Yeah, the big Y on your chest yesterday didn't give it away whatsoever.
Right.
Some quick work for Crabb and Sander. They are the winners from 2023. And with the way they're playing right now, is anyone going to get in their way?
I mean, you've got all the Olympic teams back, but I think that these are the Taylors are the team that quality-wise belong in the Olympics. So, and I think they've got something to prove to try to do a repeat, which is really cool. And they've got to stay here and train and get after it. And I think there's a chip on their shoulder to do that. And I think they're a great, kind of my choice to win this and repeat a Manhattan, and then talk to Trevor about it.
I was about to say, did you say chip on the shoulder? Because I think of one name.
Right.
The 3-time Manhattan Beach champ. He almost went for 4 straight. He's looking for his 4th, though, here in 2024. Ta.Crabb, the brother of Ta.Crabb. If you're new to the beach volleyball world, or if you've just been living under a rock, we'll tell you that storyline.
They're an interesting case study to me, though. Probably the preeminent example of how important consistency is, because they have all the skills, all the tools to be at the top of the game all the time, but sometimes consistency is a little bit of their Achilles heel, so to speak, right? I mean, we're here in the Contenders bracket because they lost earlier in straight sets to Andy and Miles, right? Who are obviously a great team, and that's no shame in losing matches, of course, but sometimes some of the highlight reel plays we see elude them in the mundane, so to speak, like just the side out plays, you know, here and there, the ones that you have to repeat over and over and over again. Sometimes they get a little loose there. They make the highlight plays. We forget about some of the easy ones. Yeah,
you got to have the Jake Gibb deep middle.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Just for 25 years.
Well, that's sort of the perfect counter example, right? Like Jake, obviously thousands and thousands of highlights in his career, but he wasn't doing the stadium bouncing that Taylor Sanders doing out there, but he was doing every single little thing all the time.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's something that they can for sure add to the level of the elitism that they have in the game, is that structure and just those 2 or 3 points that they're not really worried about the highlights, just score the point.
Well, it's a great problem to have. You know, we put that word problem in heavy quotes, right? If you start with the foundation of amazing excellence, right? That's a great place from which to work.
And then you got to find the rudimentary. There's anything but rudimentary from Billy Allen.
He still got it.
Did he ever lose it?
No, he's the guy you feel like, does he even train? And then he's never breathing hard.
Yeah.
He's never really sweating. And you're like, he doesn't get tired.
He's never over 8% body fat.
Yeah, he's always shredded.
Little slither from Ta.Crabb. To your point, too, these two, Andy Binish and Miles Partain, took down Crabb and Sanders 16-21, 25-27. That would be those straight sets that you referenced, which put them here in this Contenders bracket matchup. Billy Allen and Paul Lotman have been putting in some work in the Contenders after taking a loss to Theo and Trevor in their 3rd round.
That was a tremendous pass from Paul on that.
That was really good.
The deep serve, the deep high loopy serve, not easy to pass with precision. Paul putting it on a dime.
Yeah, that's actually one of the hardest balls to pass.
Yeah.
Because you're expecting speed, power, jump serves, or short. But that deep one's tough to really time.
Nice set from Ta.Crabb. Slaps one back over. Big block. Brings us to the technical timeout. Taylor Sander showing up big at the net right now, and it's not shocking, Crabb and Sander, with the way they're playing, that they won that 2023 Manhattan Beach Open. It was a phenomenal showcase where they stopped Ta.Crabb from earning that 4th straight. There's a look. Triborn and Trevor went back-to-back, and of course Trevor picking up that 2019 alongside Reed Pretty. But let's take a look back at the 2023 Manhattan Beach Open.
A blustery morning here in Manhattan Beach for the 2023 Manhattan Beach Open. Crabb brothers have played against one another 27 times. It has been Trevor victorious 15 times. Crabb. Beautiful dig and an even better set. Look at that joust. Here comes Taylor. He winds up and unleashes that one. Great cross-court bang by Taylor Sander. When you build the lead like this. Talk about efficiency.
Great job in terms of looking at the block, seeing what's available to him right through the uprights.
Championship point number 2 for Sander and Crabb. The poke shot with finesse to seal the deal here in Manhattan Beach.
Ta.Crabb, Taylor Sander. There is a look at their newly minted plaque. This happened Thursday afternoon, about 3:30 local time. A huge congratulations to both of them, earning a fantastic right, cementing themselves in beach volleyball history. Back out of the technical timeout. Cameron Irwin alongside Casey Patterson and Rich Lamborn. Closing the gap just a bit here, Allen and Lotman going after Ta.Crabb. I mean, who do you choose to go after, Casey?
Yeah, I think it's like with any team. Both of these guys are signing out at a world tour level that are unstoppable, and they've seen massively talented teams. You kind of just have to test the water, work the middle, see who's, you know, maybe moving a little slow or their timing's off, and then just kind of float from there.
Floating off the net is Taylor Sander, and sending that ball out of the stadium.
The intensity that Taylor Sander went up there.
I'm pretty sure he jumped before Paul and landed after him. I mean, that was unbelievable. Great overhand dig as well to start that off from Sander.
That's a Superman block if I've ever seen one. The sidewinder. Throwing it into the middle now. Here's Lotman. I don't think he likes to attack as much from the middle.
Yeah, I think that's a good tactic by the Taylors, to get him kind of jammed up in there and have to be real wristy and vision guy. Paul's so good when he gets out to the pin in a big approach. He's a borderline unstoppable from there, so I think that's a great tactic.
Yet again, attacking the middle with the service pressure. Little cross bodies, some pace from Billy Allen.
Gee, a landed hammer almost. That was really good.
It's just that effortless looking power from Billy too. It's certainly not effortless, but it looks so smooth, so easy.
Yeah, he's always had a real long look with a real smooth arm.
I mean, he left him looking. Oh, that's just mean.
Carrot dangle.
The little tickler. Yeah, I mean, how important is it to have not only a variety of shots, but then a variety of depths on those shots?
Yeah, the different speeds and depths along with whatever scenario you have from the ball location. That's huge. It's kind of like I see it like a tool belt. I've got to have multiple tools in this tool belt so that I can solve the same problem in 4 or 5 different ways.
Right, right.
This is like a Lamborghini right now. Doesn't stay under 100 miles an hour. 17-11, and get this, Ta.Crabb hitting 700. He's 8 of 10 with 1 error, and when you start serving some more aces like that, that's definitely gonna help. 2 now for Sander.
And that's another thing you have to deal with. They both are unbelievable passers. I mean, Taylor did it forever in the World League, internationally, and then, I mean, Ta.Crabb, unreal ball control. It's like, it's really tough to get them out of system.
Well, yeah, that was basically what put Paul Lotman on the 2012 Olympic team, was his serve receive prowess and then his serve.
Right.
And we're seeing all of those skills on display, but it's also a reminder of how wicked that Taylor Sander serve is when a receiver as talented as Paul can even be.
Right.
Aced.
I like the attempted bump sky ball that literally almost hits him. Nice pass from the sideline, to your point, Casey.
Yeah, because the options available, Taylor could have gone on 2, but he doesn't, so Paul has to, like, respect both. It's so frustrating.
It also seems like Ta.Crabb, check out where his contact point is. He can also kind of play with his contact point. He has so much arm control, so it's like picking and choosing when he sees the defense below him.
I could talk all day about his arm and the way he can reload and change speeds and carve and manipulate. It's incredible.
How about the lefty pokey from that arm? From left to right. He's putting on a show.
That's incredible.
Yeah, this is phenomenal stuff. Going back to that sort of arm angle, Kim, this is the guy to talk to, because I know you and Coach Tyler Hildebrand worked on that for a long time. That kind of thwomp thwomp was the sound effect associated with loading it low and wrapping it up over the top.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how a sound effect clicked for me. Was not a word or a tactic or a skill. It was just, oh, sound effect. Yeah, I get it now.
You're an onomatopoeia guy.
Yeah.
I like that womp womp has become a technical term.
Yep.
There's an F on the front of both of those. Womp womp.
Womp,
Oh,
womp.
excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I'm sorry, I missed the spelling of womp.
Yeah, womp womp makes no sense to Casey. Womp
best-
womp dials it right.
The best part is Tyler does it in the practice before World Champ starts. He's like, why don't you try this? Just like a womp womp. I'm like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Little womp womp right there off the block. And that will seal up set number 1 for Crabb and Sander. Mirrored scores there, 21-12. Holy cow. Crabb and Sander have no doubt come to play at the Manhattan Beach Open. The AVP Manhattan Beach Open is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP.
How about a little magic, huh?
Always having some fun competitions here on Stadium Court, but we've got even better stuff also happening in the booth. Cameron Irwin alongside Casey Patterson and Rich Lamborn. Casey, I can't even begin to describe how fun it is to have you in this booth, but I also think some of my funnest moments in my career were watching you out there, and especially playing in the Manhattan Beach Open. I mean, the number of accomplishments you've had, it has to feel so cool to be back with this community.
Yeah, it feels like a good home-cooked meal when you come back to these. Just like, oh, there's nothing that could replace this. It's so magical. So bringing my boys back to volunteer has been fun, Cash and Guy. And so they're out there volunteering, shagging balls, and then playing when they can. It's been a fun weekend for us boys to come back and reminisce on all the good days.
I know you won this tournament in 2016. It was an incredible accomplishment alongside Jake Gibb. Have you guys had any sort of conversation? Can we see these two guys in the dyno or something?
Yeah, I know, seriously. It's actually funny, Jake texted me, he's like, yeah, remember we won that, just the other day, text messaging, just you get the nostalgia feeling. But yeah, I think we need to play a little dyno. That'd be a great idea.
The unstoppable dyno.
Not to be missed on the graphic about all your accomplishments, creator of the swap pod.
Oh.
I like we get a creator credit on there.
I love that. Founder and creator.
That was fantastic.
Well, the AVP is always evolving. A different look for us in 2024. How stoked are you to see this come to life with the league coming the fall?
I love it. I think we can get so much loyalty from these specific locations. They get to support these locations and kind of really attack the game, and I think it adds a little element that we haven't really ever seen in the sport. And so for me, it's exciting because it's going to provide something new, and we're pushing the envelope, and I think it's going to be something that's great for the players, especially these guys that all qualify. It's a great thing for them. They're doing it full time. That's what you want. Well,
speaking of guys that qualified, they are currently on the screen and currently on the court. That's Ta.Crabb and Taylor Sander, because they won the Huntington Beach Open. They had an automatic spot into the league. That's the easiest way to get yourself in. Win a Heritage Series event and move on. We will take your best 2 of 3 finishes from Heritage Series events, accumulate all of those points, and the top 8 men's and women's teams will be moving on to the league. I feel like, Casey, if you were still playing, the league would have been absolutely perfect for you. The
so
vibe,
fun.
the energy, and cities all over the country.
You build a massive, fun fan base in each location that you can know you're going to come back to. That's like the kids in Chicago last year with the big curly froey hair. I'd point up to them in the stands, and they volunteered half the tournament. I was like, I need this. I need you guys. I need you to win this. It was awesome, and I feel like you build a lot of that with the locations and the traveling that you do to those spots consistently.
Yeah, incredible volleyball communities all over the country. There are some really sweet pockets. I recently heard from those on the Sandcast, Missoula, Montana, and Bozeman, Montana. Apparently, there's a little
pocket,
a little competition between those two.
Oh, wow.
And things could be, just saying, growing the game everywhere you go.
It's a little bit of an expansion of the tribalism that existed kind of at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Javi Dodd, Fro and Ack out of the South Bay versus Smith, Stokey, Steffes, and some of the others up in Santa Monica. You kind of had that tribalism, right? Now we're just taking that nationwide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I remember coming up through the league, and that's what it'd be like. Or on the tour, they'd be like, "Oh, these are the Manhattan guys," and then the whole city was there supporting them. You're like, "What's happening? Is anyone cheering for us?"
Right, and even though you live in Santa Monica, your life revolves around rooting against Tim Hovland.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Casey, it seemed like you always had an extra teammate on the court because you involved the crowd probably more than anyone else on the tour for years. How important is it to really get them on your side? Because this one is really up for grabs right now, this Manhattan Beach crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I feel like you can kind of capture them and get a few fans on your side and get it involved. That was my secret to, I think, staying focused, was actually going to them and pulling things from them and joking around, and then I could come back to hyper-focusing on playing. For me, that was like my kind of mental strength. That's how I used it. Instead of having the crowd be something that distracted me, it was something that brought me in and got me to hyper-focus even more. So that, for me, felt like they were a part of it, and that made it better. When we won, it's like we did this together versus just I'm out there hitting the ball.
All right, so you heard it
that's
here.
That's a unique ability, though.
Oh, 100%.
I think, right? Like, I think we see some players try and be entertainers, and oftentimes I feel like it does have a little bit of a distracting influence on their game at times. Like, you were so very good. Like you said, it's interesting to hear you verbalize that as we see Ta.Crabb show the other way to entertain and just detonate balls.
Bounce balls, I guess, is cool, too.
And just do so quietly. I mean, that's why people love him.
Cheering. Yeah. It's just standard for him.
Yeah, it's expected at this point.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of ways to entertain, but your involvement and your ability to stay sort of on task while engaging with the crowd was always so unique and so admirable.
It's like a superpower.
It was my favorite when a fan would be like, serve deep middle, and you'd get an ace and be like, that's all you. You know, and then they're like, oh, dude, you see that? I got that ace for him. You know, that was my favorite.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you are tuning in, this is your call to come to an AVP. We are surely coming to a city near you this fall, because you could be hanging out with guys like Casey Patterson, cheering them on, getting them locked in, and join in on all the fun. Become
It's Sander to bounce a ball for you. You know what I mean? Like, Taylor, give me a line bounce.
Yeah.
Here it comes.
Well, it's kind of like how Randy told you where to serve.
Line bounce!
To win.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right? That was incredible. We won our Manhattan. We had all the legends there in that box, and they were just chirping at us the whole time. It's your turn, kid. Like, you got to take it, you know. And then telling us where to serve and what to do. I was like, this is incredible. This is what I've dreamed of. This is insane.
8 coaches out there.
Yeah.
There's a little celebration from Billy Allen. They're keeping this close here in the second set to start things off. Let's recenter on this matchup. For Billy Allen, Paul Lotman, I mean, you drop a set like they did here, 12-21.
Yeah.
Mentally, you just wash it clean, right?
Yeah, you got to wash it clean. You got a little chip on your shoulder to kind of bring it back. Maybe serve a little tougher, try a new tactic. That's tough because then they do that. It's hard to play against these guys because they both use vision so well, and then they're in system so much, but they can also scramble out of system and correct things and create big plays. It's hard for, I would say, a Billy and Paul to try to disrupt that. And I think Paul's jump serve is one thing that can. It can kind of disrupt that comfort for them right now.
Yeah, to your point, Paul Lotman named best server in 2023 from Volleyball Mag. Let's see if he can dial it up here. They've got to find a side out first, though.
To deal with that in trans where Taylor double pumps you and then hits a little baby teardrop over you, and you just feel like you're hopeless. You don't know what to do.
Yeah, it's hard to know what to do when Taylor double pumps you.
And here's Paul Lotman.
Oh, single pump.
Single pump, here it is. Yeah, that's a great swing. That's one of the things that we talk about how great Taylor is, and there's no doubt that that's true. But there's, the challenge as elite athletes is to always try and find ways to upgrade your game.
Yeah.
Right. And like what we saw in the Olympics from the likes of Oman, Christian Sorum,
right,
Ahmed Tijan, like some of the elite defenders in the world. Ta.Crabb has the reading ability, the speed, the volleyball IQ to hang with any of them. I think one of the things that those guys do fractionally better is control the contact when they make those reads. And, so that's one of those things that I like to encourage Taylor whenever I get the chance to kind of continue to add that tool to his tool belt, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah, just that subtle little finish to the play.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if you make the read, but there's so many facets that go into defense, right? You got to control that, turn it into a scoring opportunity, then you got to convert it, right? That was one of the things that you were so amazing at, is converting scoring opportunities when you played with Jake.
Yeah, I had less control than Taylor, but somehow with the 7'1" wingspan, I could get myself out of trouble a little better, but also having a guy like Jake who's getting me back in the system, that was why I switched over. I think it was like, well, look, I can only do so much as a medium-sized blocker, but as a big defender, if I get less digs, but I can convert all of them, right, there's the high-end value. Yeah, and I think that's where Taylor has so many superpowers, and now it's fine-tuning that one maybe in like that trans dig, right? And then the offensive decision from there. Those things he has, and it's just like we go back full circle consistently over time is I think where he has that little windows of improvement that I have awkwardly say he even needs to have. You know what I mean?
Right. It's extreme nitpicking, of course, but that's what you kind of do at the highest levels of any sport.
Right, the small little increments at a time, for sure.
I think it's been neat to have conversations with Ta.Crabb this year, just kind of discussing, like, what does the future of beach volleyball look like for you? Is it 2028? And quite honestly, he looked at me and said, I just want to grow this game. I'm here for this league. I want to be here for the AVP. He wants to continue to play as long as he can. But his mission is the growth of this league, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, hammer.
Yeah, that looks and feels a little bit unfair. Where he just kind of floats outside of you and waits till the window opens up and then detonates.
Yeah, I mean, what do you do is, Paul, where you wait longer and then shuffle over and then you get hit over anyways?
Right.
It's like, what do you do?
Another look at Taylor Sander sending that ball down the line on the serve. Little Tasmanian devil for you.
Oh.
Ta.Crabb with the flipper overhead. Come on.
Oh, if he would have got the block. Oh. The reverse flipper, the Stokey.
The Stokey. Yeah, that was an interesting play. The super spinny knuckle to the back flipper. Yeah, that was the initial dig, though. Great control on that one, kind of like what we were talking about. Billy doing a nice job keeping the play alive.
Ta.Crabb testing your volleyball vernacular.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's back to what you were mentioning before. That's kind of Taylor's superpower, right? Is entertaining and doing what he does best, but it doesn't matter what scenario. Either it's Stadium Court in Manhattan, or it's Fours at 21st Street, or it's with the Volunteers on Court 6. You know, like, he loves the game. And I think that's why he's kind of built for this format. He's built for this league. And, you know, the World Tour, even though it's at the highest level, it takes a little bit of the fun out of the game. And I think he feeds off the fun. Because I know I did. I had a hard time at first.
It is interesting. How much do you think his stature plays into his popularity?
Oh, I think a huge amount.
Yeah, because there is kind of this like, oh man, a guy his size can do it. Maybe I could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're dead wrong. You can't do it, but he can. And that somehow allows me to relate to him.
Yes, yes. He's the superhero where you're like, oh, it is possible.
And right now, guys, I'm paying a bit of attention to Paul Lotman. He looks like he's got a little bit of a limp.
Yeah, because it went over the net on your side.
That is a block.
Yeah, he does look like he's moving a little slowly.
Yeah, he's feeling a little uncomfortable, it looks like.
Well, he was in the Olympics, right? He was.
Paul Lotman?
Yeah, Lotman was there, right?
Yes.
Coaching.
Yes.
I mean, how much training was he doing?
But
Right, and now he's getting served a majority of the balls, I think, so far this tournament.
Excellent point. Excellent point, yeah.
I also think, though, he might have gotten stepped on.
Oh,
or came down at some point. Because that right leg is bugging him.
Now that right thumb's going to be bugging him.
Well, let's take a look at what is to come. This is a Contenders bracket matchup. The winner of this will move on to the semifinals, and your dreams could be coming true. The winner of this match will face Brunner and Crabb.
It's perfect.
It's
so
perfect.
perfect. It's so perfect.
The brothers could be facing off in the semifinals. On the other side of the bracket, it's Benish and Partain, the #3 seed, and of course the Olympians from Paris 2024. Manhattan Beach couldn't get much better.
Yeah, it's nice to see the teams coming back and putting in good performances. You know, it's always a little bit of a question mark when you have to go from one big event to another.
Yeah. There
There's
he is.
the black
There's
cat
Trevor.
himself.
Just stealthily watching from the shadows.
Yeah, just in the shadows.
Look
He
at
is
him.
in the shadows.
He's like 3 people deep, just peeking through 2 shoulders.
He's like, I don't need to pay attention. I know the scouting report.
Just ask me how many I've won. Wait, which year? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got the 3 or 4 in a row. No big deal. Casey lost. Beat Casey twice in 2 of those. No big deal. Yeah, love that. Super fun.
14-7, a bit of a lopsided score here in the second set. Cross body, cross court from Billy Allen. Again, Billy Allen and Paul Lotman, fantastic in their own right. Billy
not falling for the fake pull, back up mousetrap block. Didn't fall for it.
He's been around the block a few times. He's seen that.
Paul Lotman looking for the ace, instead finds the error. Make it 15-8.
Yeah, it's always a question when teams come back from the Olympics, like how they're going to react to, you know, if no one medals. Everyone's kind of bummed, and
Oh my
what
goodness.
Taylor
180.
Sander.
Was that a spike set?
It was a fallback spike set into the 180 feast.
So 180 line bounce. It's kind of cool if you're into that kind of thing, I
I
guess.
mean, if you're into wild athleticism.
Oh my.
Taylor Sander just walloped that ball. I like the spike set. How does Paul Lotman respond?
Oh, there it is again.
By getting stuffed.
Oof.
Yeah, he's doing a better and better job with those kind of show and takes.
Yeah.
Right, where he loads up on the line and just makes that good late move, diving into the angle.
Yeah, spacing's really good, and it's not too much, right? Because he's getting that that seam ball every time, where usually you go too far and that will clip you and you'll shank.
Right. Well, he does that kind of like hop to the line, almost to sell it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And
I'm wondering-
Billy just trying to help out a little there.
I'm wondering what's the cost of the little black book of scouting reports that Casey Patterson has on everybody.
Rich and I could go on for days. We got pages.
I figured. Must
Yeah,
be nice to be in
Casey's-
the box for Tim and Troy.
Casey's is much more dialed than I am. I feel like you get a much better perspective when you're on the court. Yeah, I mean, this is comical at this point. Oh, yeah. Almost shocking that didn't come up.
Yeah, that should be. Oh, he did get it.
It's like cannon fodder. Just continues.
Non-stop.
Just 3 away are Crabb and Sander.
It's like the questions from a 5-year-old. They just keep
They
coming.
never stop.
Why?
Yeah,
But
the
why?
whys. Oh. Get him. Oh, it
Oh,
worked.
pulls.
Got him.
Reaching is Taylor Crabb.
Oh, 1-2.
Partner giving a little time.
Billy's going line. Oh, he went pokey. 1-1.
Billy Allen's on it.
Gets it.
Do something, Paul. Oh,
That is fantastic. Love the never say die attitude from Billy Allen out there. Not to get Ludwigged.
not to get Ludwig. That's perfect. That was a little no jump.
Yeah.
A little no jump rally almost.
A little more impressed with your play-by-play skills. The two of you, the voice inflection was next level.
Flipper to ice cream cone to 180 snapper.
Both of us just recently hit puberty, so you get a lot of inflection.
Rich Lamborn, Casey Patterson just enjoying their 15th birthday.
We're going to go to Glow Zone in the trampoline center. We're going to do a little video game session after. Super spike volleyball.
Roller rinks over the weekend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again. Taylor Sander is just deflating volleyballs here.
She's like an open net right now.
Yeah, it doesn't seem in line with the laws of physics to be able to, watch this, just float left and detonate away from the ball. I mean,
Must be nice.
must be nice.
You know you hit a ball hard when you catch your sunglasses at the exact same time.
The ball almost landed at the same time as him out of the net. He landed 20 feet into the court, too.
There's the route. And there's the kill.
It is match point 2011.
Honestly, he looks like a whiteout. It's ridiculous.
That's crazy. They're playing so free. Helps when you're siding out flawlessly. Then you get to serve and have fun with your serve. Yeah, exactly. Here we go. Sky ball. Oh, hybrid.
Ta.Crabb. See if he can add an extra dig.
Oh.
Hey, but it's okay, guys. That means we just get to watch him side out again.
Exactly. With the diving pokey dig.
Yeah, that's what he was going for, too. Yeah. Who even thinks to do that?
They send it to Sander. How about the pokey set?
Oh.
Stolen.
Dang it.
Stolen.
On Taylor and Taylor. Taylor says no.
Ta.Crabb saying it wasn't him.
Oh, Lotman called himself.
Oh, well, that's
All right.
He's
Ta.Crabb going with the shaggy defense.
It was if they caught you red-handed.
That's right.
21-12, 21-12. Ta.Crabb, Taylor Sander. I call that a lights-out performance.
Yeah, that's just a good warm-up for tomorrow morning for them. Just confidence builder, getting a good rhythm with their serves inside out, and be ready to take down Trevor.
How about a midsummer's Christmas for us?
Yeah, that's
Ta.Crabb, Taylor Sander will face off against Trevor Crabb and Theo Brunner in the semifinals.
That's a massive semi.
Yeah, that is always fun to watch, the brothers showdown.
All right, well, let's take a look at the highlights. I don't even know how our crew chose them because, well, they were aplenty on their side. Little Ta.Crabb scoop and deliver on his side.
Oh, such a good pull dig. That was incredible.
Taylor Sanders' ability to elevate and feast in a hurry
Fast.
is so impressive,
Yes.
too, right? Because you would think getting up as high as he gets up would take time. He just gets up there so quickly and destroys balls.
The best play right there. The spike set to the
That was
180.
incredible.
Throw that on ESPN's Top 10. Awesome. Well, Casey, I got to say, that was an absolute pleasure. You are welcome here anytime. It's so fun to have you with us on the AVP and the insights from both of you, Casey Patterson, Rich Lamborn. Some final thoughts in terms of the Manhattan Beach Open and being a part of this incredible beach volleyball community.
Yeah, once again, the AVP crushed it. The stadium's amazing. The vibe is better than it's ever been. Just excited to see these juggernauts go at it tomorrow. It's going to be great, especially with the brothers. I'm really excited about that.
I love it. Rich Lamborn, it's always fun to hear your insights as you look now to the bracket. It has been updated. Brunner, Crabb, and Sander. It's a 1v2 in the semifinals. It does not get better than this. Thanks so much for joining us on the AVP. We've still got more to come as the women take the court next. More action from the best beach volleyball players in the world.